Do I look slouchy?
I do.
I'm not allowed to look
Posture.
slouchy, or
Should
my
I?
mom will be mad. Did this article for a company for Rep Magazine a few years back, and I was just being very honest what transitioning between firms is. And I literally, I said to him, I was like, transition sucks. It just sucks. And it was written in the article, and my mom got a copy of it, and she just lit me up.
Oh my gosh.
Why would you
no.
use that word?
Yeah.
You went to college. You have a master's degree. You use that word. I just can't believe you. And I'm like, it's the only word that describes it.
Oh
There
my
you go.
gosh. That's funny. So we got to make Mama proud.
You know, we just always have to,
Yeah.
tip the hat and just make sure.
Always.
Also,
Always.
she has no idea what I do.
Okay.
She doesn't know.
Yeah.
She was a teacher.
Right.
Things like that. And
Right.
so, like my, I do this, and she doesn't know what I do. My brother works at Google. He's a director over on their. I think he's still running chat. Mom has no idea what he does. My sister works at DuPont. She's in intellectual property. My mom has no idea what she does.
That's hilarious.
She doesn't really know.
Right. But these are all new industries.
Yeah. Anyway,
So what do you do?
what do I do? So I own and operate Rossby Financial. Actually, I do a couple things. So top level, there's Rossby Financial. So that is a registered investment advisory firm, but it is an enterprise level that even though like I have a book of business or clients that I work with, Rossby Financial is really catered to work with independent financial advisors across the country. So they can work with us for them to then service their clients best.
Gotcha.
So that's one. I also own and operate. Oh, and my partner on that is Chris Marsico. Chris Marsico is up in just outside of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Great guy, really funny. Also loves Star Wars, so everything's great.
Yes,
Okay.
Definitely.
One day he'll be on.
Good people.
He'll come do this one day. We just got to get him here.
Yeah.
Then we run Rossby Office, or as we say, our office. It's an admin outsource company, much like an Airbnb or Upwork, but specifically for financial services.
Interesting.
And the reason that is there's a lot of regulation and there's concern around working across firm lines. So one of the main things we do is we make sure that nobody who is working through our platform or our marketplace is working with two different broker dealers. That's big. Now, I know that might not necessarily mean much, but like think about it.
It's big for compliance.
Well, like think also like real estate. Or, you can't work for Coldwell Banker and whatever.
Align real estate.
Align real estate. Thanks.
Right.
Okay. You just can't do that. Okay? But ours is more. It's a lot heavier because of more federal regulations, privacy policies, things like that.
Yeah, of course.
So we do that. So we match people up. We help them find great, talented people. Then also, I have a property casualty agency that I mostly just do introductions to my good friend and his company, Andy Turner, just up the road.
Oh, cool.
Turner Florida Insurance.
Nice.
Andy's wonderful. That whole team, Kaylee Troutman, who works with him, just great people. And then I have direct ownership in a few small companies.
Okay.
So I'm like a serial entrepreneur.
Okay,
owning
gotcha.
A little bit here and there. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I was going on and on.
No. Please do.
I mean, you asked. This is what I do.
I did. Yeah.
So that's Rossby. It's kind of a brand, or it is a brand itself, and we have tried to keep our hallmark of what Rossby is through all things, which is we're calm blue ocean, or we're clear skies, calm waters, and open spaces.
I love that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that?
Come on, just, hey, be cool. Just,
Yeah.
Come on, be cool.
And where did Rossby come from? Is that a family member or
No. It'd be a great name for a dog. Now I realize.
Yes.
It'd be a great name. That's a good
Yes.
dog name. It actually came from the path of branding. So if you've ever gone through a branding process, you got to ask questions. You dig into your ethos and all this and blah, blah, blah. And so going through that process, I use the term calm blue ocean a lot. And working with that, we went through a couple iterations of, okay, well, what, calm blue ocean is weather, it's boating, it's this, and well, is it harbor, is it, pori? Is it this? Is it palm tree? Okay. But
Right.
as we then asked the question, well, what makes calm blue water? Or what makes calm weather? No turbulence. And so then as we did a little bit more research, my branding team out of Houston, Texas, New Leaf Design, wonderful people also, stumbled across Carl Rossby, who back in the 30s worked out a lot of mathematical equations to figure out high and low pressure systems and how weather and how this air interacts with each other, how it creates, jetties and pockets of cold air and updraft and creates turbulence. And now fast forward, there's been a lot of development, many years and years. It's now what we could do with figuring out weather patterns, everything really comes from his original, the godfather, if you will, of figuring out where these things are. So that's just what we say is like, well, I love that. I go, well, let's just call ourselves Rossby.
I love it.
We're Rossby because we want to figure out where is there turbulence and we want to do our best to navigate around it.
Right.
And get you to your destination safely and comfortably.
Yes.
So that's it. That's the
yes.
magic.
I
Well, thank
love
you.
that. Most people don't have that cool of a story when coming up with their name.
Yeah,
so.
it's just like, well, it's my name.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
But it's just like, it's my name. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, but I love
Yeah.
that. It has a good ring to it.
Thank you.
And so what does Rossby Financial primarily do? What kinds of services do you provide? And
So, Rossby Financial specifically, we are enterprise RIA. So we believe that the business owner advisor knows what's absolutely best for their business, but they need someone to help them get connected to the various systems that have to happen to cover yourself from a regulatory standpoint. The various things that you need, from say like digital signatures, performance reporting tools, your own native app for your clients to access, a trading tool, a trading platform, a custody partner, and records
Yes.
retention. Okay,
Yes.
so all of those things, when you start to work through those things, that costs a lot of money. And we decided that to take a look at the business at large, because there's many companies that do that. But our flip of it was that we want to take a lot of the pain away. In that, put the power with the advisor, talk with them as to what they need, and then we can pick and choose or add things or rip them out, because that's the way of business now. You don't need to, like when you buy something, okay, like when you get your cell phone, that's not the last cell phone you're ever going to have, hopefully.
right.
No jinxes.
Right.
But you're going to upgrade that once every 3 years, or when the iPhone 15 comes out, you're going to get another one,
Right.
or maybe you flip to the Google 7. But that's like our attitude, is that like legacy systems have to be ripped out. You have to get rid of them, and you have to put in new. You have to do it, or you continually fall behind.
Right.
So
100%.
So we provide their compliance oversight, connectivity to technology, connectivity to great custodians, connectivity to great product lines, and we do that, what we feel, at an extremely compelling cost.
That's fantastic.
You can check us out on our website.
And where can people find you? On social media or website? What's the best place for them to reach out?
Yep. So I think everybody has a website.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our website, www.rossbyfinancial.com, ROSSBY financial.com.
Okay.
So that's the main site. But then, we have our profile on, I think we have this is why we hire other people. I think we have a Twitter.
Okay.
I know I do, and you can find me at Andrew John Evans on Twitter, so I'm on there.
Okay.
But then we primarily work off of LinkedIn.
Okay.
So it's LinkedIn as our primary social media. Okay. And then some of our sister companies, we do have access through, you can find us on Instagram with our office offering. And yeah, that's where you can find us.
Awesome.
Yeah. And we're
awesome.
here, headquartered down here in Melbourne, Florida. I think Florida is just a wonderful place to, really hunker down, have a great headquarters as a business, but we
Right.
work across the country.
Yes, and with the influx of people coming in, and especially because we have so many retirees here, it seems like it's a great place for financial advisors and therefore for
Yeah.
you to solve their pain points.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
resolve that and bring them some calm blue waters.
Yes.
I love that. That's my favorite thing about what you've
Yeah.
said today is providing that sensation for people. And I
Yeah.
think that they're going to love that.
I would hope so. And am I allowed to talk about something?
Yeah.
So part of that, a main part of that, what we feel is, but I think every parent has, is coordination of your information and where are things. You know, we have talked before of like, your child is, where's my thing? Where did you put it?
Right.
No, it shouldn't always be on. You try to teach your children, hey, you should know where your things are.
Right.
Know where your things
Right.
are. So, like, really for us, what we espouse to, and what we really believe is that when you're the business owner advisor, know where your things are. What are your things? Your things are your client data, names, addresses, phone numbers, portfolio values, last time you checked in with them, who else is in their family, when was the last time you sent them a birthday card? All of that,
Right.
hyper important. And that is the source of truth for your business. And this is really good, I think, for any business owner.
Right.
Is
Right.
what's your source of truth? So we talk about turbulence. I think turbulence for an advisor would be when they are using systems or they're working with, a major company or, working with a regional broker dealer or an independent, and something changes. They've relied on that company as their source of truth. And now they're in a scramble because something's different. Okay?
Yeah.
So we say,
Right.
don't do that. Don't rely on them. Focus on, get yourself a solid CRM. And, for our business, the main ones, there's various Salesforce instances. Company, you can get Elements by Salentica, their product. That's a Salesforce do up, I guess. That's how you'd say it. But then Redtail's a big one, Wealthbox. But overall, treat that as your source of truth. Make that unbelievable. Those programs have so many things that you could do inside of them. Put in every piece of client data. Build out your workflows. Build them out.
Yes.
Back up your documents. Connect your text messages. Connect your email. Connect your social media. Because you own that subscription to that CRM. And if you don't, you know what I'm going to say? You should go ahead and buy it for yourself. Get it to. It is your source of truth. It is not those other providers' company. Your company is not their company. It is yours. So
Right.
make sure that your source of truth is strong. It is put together. Has everything in it. So when something changes, you can move. You could pivot. You can adjust swiftly.
Yes. Yes, and smoothly.
Exactly.
Because otherwise it's
Comfortably.
all the
Then all of a
headaches.
sudden, then you're like, oh my God. Then it's like, where's my thing? Well, where did you put it? And the company you're working with is going to be like us as parents. Like, well, where did you put it? Well, we don't do that anymore, so I don't know where that is.
That's
I'm
so
looking
true.
for the document that my client did the thing, and they're like, well, where did you put your backup? We don't hold that anymore.
How do you hold these documents and these things, or just by buying the subscription, they are backed up that way? Or?
So some of the providers, they will do some document management, but then that actually goes to another level of source of truth. It is your for anybody who's technical listening in, this goes back to your environment. What is your technical environment? So if you're a Microsoft shop or you're a Google Workspace shop, I'm a Google Workspace shop, you can then, you put on your proper, you build out your Google Drive, your shared drives, you could put documents there. They'll link back into CRMs as well. So what is your environment? So we also say, if you go a little bit deeper into that, is source of truth is you own your domain. You connect that to Microsoft 365. You now have OneDrive. You have SharePoint. You can now build that out dramatically to pair very well with your CRM. Now your source of truth is becoming like a tank.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Nobody's getting in there. Hire yourself a really solid IT person. Put on some really great, put on all your two-factor authentications. So that's where you could store everything.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, because the companies have to store. So us as the RIA, so truth be told, so we have our own responsibilities for recording and retaining documents. So we move all of our documents into a company called Smart RIA. Okay, so they do backup for us. Okay, and that's where we could track all of our documents. So when we get a visit from any regulator, okay, that's where we go. Okay, so it's backed up there. But that's us.
Yeah.
Our requirements are different than say if you're an advisor with us. Your documents are going to be different than mine because I don't want to know all like the little notes that you scribbled out all the time, or if you scanned in that your client, you and a photo of your client or something like that, or like I don't really care where they're when the last time you guys went to play pool was. Like I don't care about any of that. I care about advisory agreement. Is your correspondence in? Did you submit your advertising? All like the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
I care about that. So you should care about that plus other things.
Yeah.
So don't rely on me to give you your information. Rely on yourself. Self-reliance.
Yes. Yeah, that's so important. so important in business in general, and not even just for advisors, but keeping up, like in real estate, for example. We use Follow Up Boss, but it's so important to be able to stay on top of all of that information. We have to keep documents for a 3-year period. And so
ours is 6.
Okay. Wow. So you definitely need this for all of those regulations, and because that would be such a headache. Like that actually happened to me with Dot Loop. And I had everything in Dot Loop. Well, when I moved from Tennessee to Florida and got licensed here and just paused my license in Tennessee, they closed out my Dot Loop, and I no longer had access to those files. And you always have the one lawsuit, and it didn't involve me, but it was with a builder. And so the lawyer wanted those documents. Yeah. And I could not get them. And luckily in this situation, I did have backups. So it was a happy ending, but I can see where this would be a problem.
Oh yeah.
Huge problem.
I mean, and also too, we are going through, you could call it, my wife works in senior living in that industry, and as we go through what she says is the silver tsunami. It's one thing for baby boomers to retire, but now they're really getting old. Okay, no offense, I'm not being ageist, but it's just the fact that guess what? Time marches on.
It does.
I'm just saying.
It does for all of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so why that's important, what you're saying is important too, is that you probably also have a lot of some older business owners who have not adopted a digital backup or a CRM or a process, and so that very well could happen as well down there. Like let's say you purchase somebody's business. Where are your documents? What? In that filing cabinet. Well, where's the agreement that you made with this tenant in 1998, because now they're moving out and Well, I don't know where it is. Okay, so there's another layer there of like, you have to get your house in order.
Right.
Don't be stuck in that position. I mean, you experienced it firsthand. It's like, well,
it's scary.
Little SOL.
Yeah, and you do not want to be put in that position.
No, not at all.
For any of the regulations or lawsuits, God forbid any of that ever happens, but it's just a scary feeling.
Well, it's like we're up against an interesting situation where we can't move a piece of business because it is a long-standing, like this is like a 50-year-old relationship, but we need the original documents that are nowhere to be found.
Oof.
And luckily, it's not specifically me,
right?
But this is like
this good.
Well, we're done. We're working out some other plans, but like the easy path isn't there. So now what are we going to do?
Right.
Okay, now we got to work out something else.
Yes.
So there's so many reasons why. The idea of, you were talking about like what causes turbulence. Document management.
Yes.
Where's the thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. And no offense to any title agent, but I'm like, well, if everything else is electronic, but then when I close on that house, you're still bringing me an encyclopedia of stuff I have to sign. Can I just do this electronically? But right. Like, no, you can't.
I know. I wish you could.
Yeah.
I wish you could, but all the spam and the hacking and all of that, I understand it, but there's got to be a way.
I'm sure.
I mean, it's on its way.
I'm sure there is.
I mean, people are buying from out of country, out of state.
Yeah.
You know, and we still have to use notaries, but
Yeah. Well,
I wonder if there's a virtual notary. Is there?
Yeah. Yeah, you can totally do it. DocuSign has that in that. Like, you could set up a notary system inside of it. It's like, it's there. It exists.
Interesting.
Yeah. See,
interesting.
Like, these are like those cool things you find out.
Can you solve this problem for title companies?
I'm sure
and all
we
real
could.
estate agents, mortgage lenders, buyers, sellers. I mean, that's...
But no, you know where that problem comes in? Once again, not trying to be offensive, is then that takes away some jobs for some lawyers, like paper.
Yes, that
who
makes sense.
charge on the page and the word. And that's totally cool. Make your money, guy. Or gal. You know, whatever. It's totally cool, but it's like, this is kind of annoying.
Right.
Yeah, we're in the future, people.
We are.
We must have flying cars by now.
I know. Where is my flying car?
That's what I said. I want my flying car.
I know.
And that's almost 10 years ago we were supposed to have flying cars. Was it 8 years ago? 2015?
The AI is wonderful.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Now that that's out, I think that's going to change the game for everybody.
Yeah, we want to use it more in the business as well, because we don't want to be left behind.
Right.
What can you do with it? With what we do, not a ton right now, but there's some interesting analysis you can use it for. You can teach your AI to screen millions of points of data faster than you ever could to figure out what's a better allocation for somebody.
Right.
That just you can't. You're a human. You can't do everything.
Right.
Okay, so doing things like that, but I think what's interesting about it is how you could teach it to talk like someone.
That's
freaky.
I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, but people's like, I don't know, this is good. This turns everything upside down. It's like, well, no, I think you as a human need to learn to understand the difference when a computer is talking to you versus an actual human. Like, it's
that's a great point.
It can only talk to you as it's programmed to talk to you. Like, it's not a thing. It's just a program. It's a line of code.
Yes.
Yeah, like, don't be afraid.
So how do we decipher that? As it continues to grow, and it's gonna be a wild future.
Well, I think like you and I might have when we're really comfortable in our 80s and our 90s, we might get very confused.
Right.
Because it might be really good.
Yeah, that's
but we
true.
will be. However, our grandchildren would be like,
yeah,
you don't know that's a robot?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I hope so.
Yeah. My grandmother, in the 80s, my grandmother couldn't turn on the VCR. Yeah. 1989.
Wow. Yeah, so now I'm sure.
Yeah. So, like, what would happen, way further down the line? What are we going to have to suffer with?
It's going to be crazy. Oh my gosh.
Have to suffer with that.
It's changing fast, but it's why it's even more crucial to avoid that turbulence.
Yeah. So next week, this is, what day is today? Today is September 7th?
Yeah.
So next week, actually myself and my partner Chris, we're going out to an event in California called Future Proof.
Oh, cool.
So an industry event called Future Proof. And just trying to advance us forward as an industry. Really get some great conversations going about how do we provide the best we can for our clients, what are the new technologies that are coming, and everything like that. And I've just been so surprised that there's still so many people within the industry that are like, no, status quo is fine. No, we're just gonna do this. We'll just do this.
Wow.
Like, okay, it's fine, but blockchain is a thing.
Right.
Okay, like cryptocurrencies are a thing, doesn't mean you have to do it, but it's a thing and you should know it.
Right. You have to recognize that.
You have to recognize it. So I think it's going to be great, and the more that people can at least get involved or start to learn about what's happening, the way better for everybody's business.
Totally agreed.
Yeah. Doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right.
Just
But you don't want to get left behind. I heard a talk about one of the hardest things in entrepreneurship is endurance over time, because you have to always know that there is the wolf behind you that's coming and wants to take your business, and they are willing to make those shifts. They are willing to see where the future is headed and pivot and move. And so I think that's going to be kind of something that separates and differentiates some companies from others in this next chapter, because we're experiencing so much change so quickly that you've either got to like hold on and change with it and be flexible, or
you think we would have learned this lesson by now.
I know.
With how many things have changed, but like still it's a lesson that always has to be relearned,
It's just the way we are, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, hey, we would and we like to be Rossby Financial. So like I feel like we're becoming disruptive because our pricing is dramatically different than everybody else. It's I mean, I can't even begin to explain to you how different it is.
Yeah.
Okay, it'd be different. It's like in real estate. Instead of collecting commissions off of a sale of a house, you're now going to get paid in, I don't know, Disney dollars or something. I don't know. Like so totally different. Now it's still all real money and everything like that.
Right.
But it's just totally different. Anyway, that being said, when you become, a change agent, do kind of skirt that line of, well, are we going to become like on the bleeding edge and we fall apart as martyrs, or are we going to be able to explode and grow and really be looked at as somebody to, really kind of pivot or emulate?
Right.
So it's an interesting thing. So we've been kind of gentle with our approach. Like, we haven't thrown it in anybody's face. We haven't, this is probably the biggest thing that we've done about it.
Right.
Trying to just, again, it all comes back to calm blue ocean.
Yeah.
Have some patience. It's going to work out.
Yes.
It'll be okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any other last minute thoughts or anything you want to cover?
Your nails are lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. I just got them done yesterday. I couldn't decide, so I told her to do half and half of each.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's great.
Shout out, Christina. You're the bomb.
Yeah, they're really good. I think, no, I don't have anything else. I'm happy.
Okay.
Are you happy? Are you good?
I'm happy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
no,
think
this is great. Also, if you ever want to have events here or anything like that, we do host events as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, if you got a lot out of it, please like and subscribe. It helps us both. And again, this is Andrew Evans with Rossby Financial. And the best place to reach them is...
come to our site. Come to our website. rossbyfinancial.com, ROSSBY financial.com. You can find us on the LinkedIns. I hear the kids are going there. Best place to get us. And you'll see some other things popping up. And it's been lovely.
Yes.
This has been wonderful.
Absolutely.
You have such a wonderful, wonderful space here. I just might come hang out here all the time.
I would love that.